When I say America, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Maybe you're thinking of football, barbecues, the army, or something like McDonald's. America has the highest number of immigrants entering the country. There are many reasons why US is first in this regard, and one of the reasons is to live the American dream, have access to opportunities that the country promises. The American dream is an ideal that everyone has the same opportunities to achieve success as long as you put in hard work with passion and perseverance. However, only a small fraction of the world will ever achieve their dreams, leaving the rest of us short-handed. Meaning that the American dream cannot be true, as the majority of people in the world will never succeed no matter what. This ideal is flawed as not everyone shares the same opportunities. The Pursuit of Happiness and The Death of a Salesman perfectly demonstrate this, as it shows the flaws of the American dream and how it fails to represent America. First of all, we can see this through the social class, a hierarchy of how much wealth and power one has. The American dream fails to uphold as an ideal at certain social classes. For example, the lower class don't experience the same opportunities as the upper class have, which can be demonstrated through both of these medias. In The Pursuit of Happiness, once Chris Gagner has been evicted from his house, he falls into poverty and becomes homeless. In the struggle to find a place to live, he goes to a homeless shelter. Each day he wants to enter, there's a huge line of other homeless people waiting to get in. The shelter quickly fills up, and the remaining people in line have to stay outside for the night. This does not show equality in any way. How can everyone have equal opportunities if people in poverty aren't guaranteed a roof over their head? On a side note, this movie is based on a true story, so this is an accurate depiction of America in the 80s. At the end of the movie, Chris does succeed and achieves his dreams through hard work and perseverance, despite facing these inequalities. This shows how one can still be successful coming from a lower class. Even so, this doesn't prove the American dream right, as he still needs luck to achieve this. There are multiple instances where Chris got fortunate enough to continue his journey. For example, he luckily walks into Jay Twistle and catches a taxi ride with him. Jay seems to be a board member for the stockbroker firm that Chris submitted his application through. During this taxi ride, Jay luckily is playing with a Rubik's Cube. This movie takes place in the 90s, the exact time where Rubik's Cubes were at its peak popularity. At this time, solving this puzzle was very impressive, so when Chris solved the cube before the taxi ride was over, it showed Jay that Chris had good math and problem-solving skills. This interaction then leads to Jay inviting Chris to an internship at his firm. From this scene, we can see how, due to lots of luck, Chris was finally given the opportunity to achieve his goals. Overall, Chris's story shows how social class is a major barrier to success and how it affects people in poverty. Being from a lower class means you will need to rely on luck more than someone who is well off. On the other hand, The Death of a Salesman shows how having bad luck and being of lower class can lead to failure. Willie had the opportunity to leave America with Ben and go to Alaska, but Willie decided not to go. In doing so, Ben became incredibly rich and lived what seemed to be a very successful life. Willie had the chance to fulfill his dreams but rejected the offer, as there was no realistic way he would have known Ben would strike gold. Willie is an incredibly hardworking person. We can see this as Willie has been driving across the country to do his job with no salary, just in hopes to provide something for commission. He fails to get many sales as if all his regular clients are retired or dead. This lack of financial stability is magnified as he gets fired from his job due to this exact reason. After Howard tells Willie to take a break, Willie still insists on continuing the job with no pay or very little, showing that even at his old age he's willing to put in the hard work to help achieve his goals, yet he still fails. These examples show that how no matter how much hard work one puts in, one can still fail if luck isn't on their side. This again is a result of social class and how Willie was not able to comfortably retire at his age. Both Death of a Salesman and The Pursuit of Happiness show opposite endings, but complement each other as social class affects both of them. Chris gets lucky and succeeds, while Willie gets bad luck and fails. Therefore, we can conclude that the American dream does not mean equal opportunity for everyone, rather people in one's own social class. Your family also contributes to your success as well. Family issues dictate how many opportunities one is born with, contributing to the struggle of success greatly. You cannot control what your family has or will accomplish, directly conflicting with the American dream. In The Pursuit of Happiness, Chris is negatively affected by having no family to rely on. We can assume Chris has no family other than his wife, as no one else is mentioned. As a result, he has to rely on himself and his friend for help. Chris's friend owes him money, which he hasn't paid back, and didn't answer the door for Chris when he got evicted. Friends are nowhere near as trustworthy or reliable as one's family would be. On top of this, Linda leaves Chris, meaning Chris lost another source of financial support for him and their child. This leads to him getting evicted and struggling to find the time to study for his position as a stockbroker, sell the bone density scanner, and take care of his child. This exemplifies how having no family to help support negatively affects one's opportunity to succeed, especially through financial aid. In The Death of a Salesman, both Biff and Willie's pursuit for success is negatively affected by family issues instead. Biff's perspective on success is to live out in the urban areas making money on a farm. However, he is not able to achieve his dreams as Willie wants him to become a successful salesman, and if he doesn't follow through, his mental health deteriorates. Although Biff doesn't believe he'll find any success as a salesman, he still does it just to save his dad's health as he deeply cares about him, sacrificing achieving his own dreams. Willie's perspective of success is to continue his legacy onto his son Biff to become a successful salesman as well. However, his son is unable to do so and he cannot find any success. This puts Willie in a bad mental state as he is not able to achieve his dreams for him. In The Death of a Salesman, it shows how family can sometimes refrain you from achieving success altogether, complementing the message from the pursuit of success. Therefore, family issues play a huge role in defining how hard or easy success will come to you. This is all down to luck in being born in the right family, given some people better opportunities than others, showing how the American dream is flawed. Finally, the path to success will be met with situations where one would need to question the ethics of their actions. Moral dilemma is almost guaranteed to happen, and in order to uphold one's own moral code, they would need to sacrifice opportunities or their path to success. In The Pursuit of Happiness, Chris is a giving person. We can tell as he does favors for his coworkers even though it puts him in a worse situation. Even though his coworkers forced it on him, he does not directly say no, showing how he's hesitant to help but still willing to do so. For example, an employee at a stockbroker firm asks if he can move his car as he has no time. This risks Chris being late on his interview with Walter Ribbon. Even though Chris is being forced to do this, he never cuts him out to say no I can't, even though it's the truth. Chris also gives $5 to Chad since he was short on money for his taxi. Chris could have lied and said he had no money, yet he puts others before him even though he needed the $5 more than Chad did. So this shows how Chris is a good person. However, he is still faced with ethical dilemmas that challenge these views. One such situation would be when his wife Linda leaves him. Once Linda made up her mind, Chris had the choice to take custody of his son Christopher. Knowing Linda cannot take care of Christopher and his willingness to be a good father, Chris decides to take custody of his child. This means that Chris would lose the time, money, and support that Linda gave, while still needing to take care of his son. He puts himself in a situation where he's less likely to succeed, but prioritizes the well-being of Christopher. Chris in this scene lost many opportunities by deciding to be a good father, but by following his moral code, he potentially sacrificed his chances of becoming successful. On the other hand, during the ending of The Death of a Salesman, Willie is faced with a moral dilemma. He has a decision to commit suicide to get insurance money to help fund Biff's startup, or just stay alive. If he doesn't do so, Biff will be stuck with no loan money, making his chances of becoming a salesman even lower than what it was now. After failing multiple times, Biff was ready to give up, as seen when he states, "I'm not bringing home any prizes anymore, and you're gonna stop waiting for me to bring them home." The only way for Willie to keep his dream alive is to crash the car with him inside of it to get the insurance money. However, no one in the family supports this decision, making this a selfish action. He leaves his son with no father and his wife completely alone, and he isn't even guaranteed the money at the end of the day. This shows how people will make unethical or morally wrong decisions in the pursuit of success. In contrast to the pursuit of happiness, one would either have to sacrifice their dignity and make unethical decisions, or do the right thing and potentially be less successful. This puts the American dream in jeopardy, as you would have to achieve success through moral dilemmas rather than hard work, determination, and initiative. The American dream is not real. Many people all over the world come to the US in hopes to achieve such an ideal, yet only few of them will ever meet their goals. From analyzing both the pursuit of happiness and the death of a salesman, issues such as family problems, ethics, and social class all disprove the equality of opportunity to become successful. Chris Gardner and Willie Lumen are both perfect examples of what the real American dream is. Everyone who is lucky enough to have the opportunities are able to become successful through hard work and perseverance. Thank you for listening, and see you later.